Who's feeling Jewish tonight? I can tell, I can see it in your eyes. I'm so delighted to be back for our 5th year with My So-Called Jewish Life. Let's hear it for our 5th year. My name is Amy Saidman. I'm the director of SpeakeasyDC, and I want to give a shout out to Lisa Yokelson and Jackie Leventhal, who are so wonderful to work with every year here at 6th and I. And Jackie and I were just talking about just what a nice tradition this has become. So I'm just curious out there, who has made this an annual ritual? I love it. How about you guys up there? I can't see you. I need to hear you. All right, cool. So I hope some of you newbies will put this on your list of annual rituals as well, because we have a fantastic lineup for you tonight. I'm so excited to introduce our storytellers for the evening. But before that, I'm going to start with a song. I don't do this typically, but I need to tonight. And some of you may know this and some of you may not. But it goes something like this. Wherever you go, there's always someone Jewish. You're never alone, 'cause God made you a Jew. So when you're not home and you're somewhere kind of newish, the odds are, don't look far, 'cause they're Jewish too. That's all you get. So, I learned this song when I was in college and I was teaching 1st grade Hebrew school. Mistake on so many levels. But it's the one thing that stuck with me, and I've always found it funny, and it's funny because it's so sad. And it's so sad because it's so not true, right? If it were true, we wouldn't need the song. There is no version of wherever you go, there's always someone Christian. Because they don't need that. I mean, to me, it's like the equivalent of trying to convince a child that celery is a delicious snack. Or that it'll be so much fun to visit Aunt Bertha at the nursing home. It's not, you know, and it's that kind of like so uber perky that you can see right through it. Like, it'll be so fun to see Aunt Bertha. You know, like the last time when you got to eat the fruit cocktail and play with cotton balls, remember? So it's got that perky, I know there's something wrong here. And now this premise, that there's always someone Jewish, may be true on Rockville Pike or a Joan Rivers concert. I don't know. But it wasn't true for me growing up in Gaithersburg, Maryland in the 80s. So I was really one of very few Jewish kids in my school. Diamond Elementary, anybody? Ridgeview, Seneca? Okay. So Germantown, Maryland, I had no Jewish friends. And it was fine, in fact, because really religion didn't come up among my group of friends. They weren't churchgoers. They didn't pray or talk about the Lord's blessings. So mostly it just seemed pretty much like we were similar, except around Christmas, and that was fine. Until high school. And somewhere around 10th or 11th grade, my friends started joining Young Life. Do you know what Young Life is? So Young Life is a Christian youth group on, I guess, high school campuses, maybe college campuses, I'm not sure. And so they're all starting to join Young Life, and that's becoming the center of the social scene. And they're coming back and talking about how fun the ice cream parties were. This is how nerdy we were. It's like, ice cream parties, really? I don't want to miss out on that. So it was ice cream parties and like, I don't know, bowling, who knows what, I don't remember, but they were just like teenagey fun activities that I was missing out on. So my friend Beth, who was super involved, tried to convince me to go. She was like, don't worry, we just eat ice cream, hang out, and then we get like a 10-minute chat about Jesus. And I'm like, I can handle that. You know, a 10-minute chat about Jesus. And this thing was run by Mr. Pym. Mr. Pym was this young, hot teacher that, like, did not escape me why so many people wanted to be involved. So I go, and it happens like she says. There's ice cream, there's hanging out, we're having a good old time. and then we stay for the chat. And he kept it real like cool, you know, Jesus was a cool dude. And he just did cool things for people, you know? And then he just made it real accessible. And I was like, I can do this. This is fine. So I kept going for a little while, and then, but each time I just felt more and more weird about it. Like, it's not that I wasn't an observant, we weren't an observant Jewish family, so it didn't matter how Jewish I was. I would still, one thing I knew I wasn't gonna sign up for was praying to Jesus. So, it just wasn't gonna happen. Like, you kind of opt out of that when you're born Jewish. You just don't, you know, I don't know. So, you know, little by little, it just kept getting stranger and stranger, and I finally just said, you know, I'm not gonna go, I just feel like an imposter. And it turned out for the best, because actually, my friend Beth, who I said was very involved, kept rising in the leadership, and it turned out it was like a pyramid scheme. And they were strong-arming her to recruit people, and she bailed on it as well. And the final straw was when, no, I'm not gonna go there actually. So, it all worked out in the end. But I do find comfort from time to time in this song. And I'd like for you to as well, so I'm gonna teach it to you. So I'm gonna say a line and you're gonna do the line. Yes, that's how it's gonna go down tonight. And it goes like this. Wherever you go, there's always someone Jewish. Wherever you go, there's always someone Jewish. So good. You're never alone, 'cause God made you a Jew. You're never alone, 'cause God made you a Jew. So when you're not home, and you're somewhere kind of newish. So when you're not home, and you're somewhere kind of newish. The odds are, don't look far, 'cause they're Jewish too. The odds are, don't look far, 'cause they're Jewish too. Hey, good job. Give yourself a round of applause. All right, we were one rabbi shy for this show, and thankfully PJ gave us a tip to bring the lovely Rabbi Rachel Ackerman. It reminds me just that sort of discomfort of going to someone's house for dinner, and then they start to say grace, and they hold hands, and then you have to like look up to know, you know, what you're supposed to do when. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? So, our next storyteller, I am so excited to have. He's our one returning storyteller because he performed for My So-Called Jewish Life a few years ago, but he is one of the all-time favorites. So we wanted to bring him back. Please put your hands together for Yev Krupachevsky. I'm so sad that a sure sign that someone's not Jewish is their happy countenance. Oh, but it made so much sense. How you guys doing up there up top? Nice. This is a fantastic crowd. Oh, we had a stander up there. Did you want to say hi? How you guys doing back there? All right, I don't want to leave anybody out. You guys, taste great? Okay. So our next storyteller is a first time to the storytelling stage. She is a delight to work with. She has offered everybody a ride home, no matter how far. She's been our best tweeter. Let's welcome. And I think half of this room knows her and loves her. All right, let's give some love to Emily Goodstein. You know, they're not always angry. Have any of you ever had someone just look at you like so sad because they know you're going to hell? And they just look at you like you have terminal cancer and they're just like, I'm so sorry. Have you had this? I had this one guy who was working as at this little summer day camp for kids, and every day the guy who would clean up would come and try to help me find Jesus, and every time I didn't, he would just hug me, like hold me, like I was on death row, and there was just only moments left for me. And then there's some that are just like my friend, my Seventh-day Adventist friend, who was just like, you missed the boat. Like, he'd give me the greatest deal I could possibly not walk away from, and I'm just like, what else can you do? I've done as much as I can do. So we are very lucky to have our next storyteller who came down from New Jersey. She is a local comedian, a very popular one. She's gonna, and she will be back in Washington for another Speakeasy DC show, which is our annual Top Shelf, the best of the year. That'll be at 9:30 Club on January 10th, just quick pitch. And, but let me, I don't know what is happening. I've just got lost, and so let's bring it back and put your hands together for Sarah Armour. That is so On Golden Pond. Does anybody remember that movie? I watched it 1,000 times because we had Super TV, which nobody knows what that is. It's like the Betamax of, it was like, does anybody know what Super TV is? Oh, like what? Everybody else got HBO, but my dad got Super TV. And they had like 5 movies that I saw 1,000 times. That was one, The Natural, and then not Revenge of the Titans, whatever. So, but Sarah's story speaks to me because my family would always go camping. That was our family trip, and we loved it actually. But I didn't realize how like normal people go camping. Like, we pimped this campsite out every time. We had like a plug-in fridge, cots. No matter how many times my dad tried to organize like the pieces, like it was before it was like so easy to put up a tent. There was like 1,000 pieces. They were color-coded and marked and this and that. It took 7 hours. 7 hours to put that thing together, and it was always sundown. It was always dark by the time and practically giving up. So, hi Alexander. So I recognized, oh, and it wasn't until I was a grown woman that I realized that people actually go hiking. Like, that's what you do. You go camping and you go hiking. But we didn't do that. We just stayed on the campground. We just played Boggle and Scrabble. Occasionally we go rent a bike from the camp store. We go rent a motorboat. But anyway, I feel like that's maybe how Jews experience the outdoors. Unless you're the wilderness, unless you're Israeli, in which case we know you're badass, so fine. So our last storyteller of the evening, I'm happy to bring up to the stage, will also be in our Top Shelf show on January 10th. Let's warm the stage for PJ Andrews. So we have a tradition at My So-Called Jewish Life that we end the show by bringing the cast back up and lighting the candles for Hanukkah. But before we do that, I just want to say thanks to a few folks and make a few more announcements. And so I want to thank Kian, Nick, Sherry, Martine, I don't know the 6 and I volunteers' names, Bruce, Joe on the sound, everybody for helping make this happen. I want to thank, and I want to tell you that today is Giving Tuesday. It's something that started, I think, a year ago with the idea of promoting philanthropy in the DC area. I mean, maybe it's national, but I do know that the DC area actually is kind of low. You'd be surprised that among other cities, we're low compared to what the sort of capacity is. And so there's an effort to try to get more philanthropy happening. So SpeakeasyDC and 6 and I are both 501c3 nonprofits. And so we welcome any, I think both of us are in the middle of our end of the year campaign with ambitious fundraising goals. So if you're feeling generous and you like what you see and you want to keep it going, please consider giving a donation to one of our organizations or both, and we appreciate that. Also, we have tons of stuff going on. If you hang on to your programs, you can check us. You can go to either of our websites. 6 and I has a beautiful new website. We have a ton of information on our website about all the upcoming events, and 6 and I has great events, and SpeakeasyDC does too. If you would like to tell your story, there are many opportunities. You can take a class. We have a 1-day class, a 5-day class, but you can also just sign up. You can just look at our list of shows, pitch a story, and we will coach you, and we'll get you up on stage. And maybe even there's some of you out there thinking of like, maybe I should do My So-Called Life next year. So keep an eye out for when we send the word out that we're looking for new storytellers, because we're always open to new good stories. So, You have been a great audience. Let's bring the cast back up on stage. Our rabbi is going to do the honors here.
Very ancient technical difficulties.
Oh, you started? Oh, no, okay. I'm like, oh, that's my cue. All right. You guys ready? Baruch atah. I love that tradition. Actually, it's so beautiful to have this whole room of 500 some people doing the blessing. And I just want to say that I feel really honored I got to work with each and every one of you, and you've really brought your A game and put on a wonderful show. So let's please give one more round of applause to the cast.